The unseasonably cool temperatures again greeted the Irish this morning as they hit the field for their 14th practice of Training Camp 2014. The team will practice again tomorrow before getting a day off on Sunday. Our position profile today will focus on the linebackers. As always, this report is brought to you by our friends at St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. I know a lot of work is being done, a lot of excitement about the young men who are going to be playing linebacker for you this year. Talk about some of the key guys.
Well, everybody knows about Jaylon Smith. And the thing that's interesting about Jaylon is that last year, as a freshman All-American, a really good player in our defense a year ago, he played always out to the field, always on the ball, very limited number of techniques and assignments that he had to play. Now he's inside in the box as a player. He's also out of the box. As a space linebacker, and the assignments that he's had to master are infinite compared to what he was doing last year. So I'm very happy, and Coach Van Gorder is very happy with where he's come from a mental respect, understanding that he's playing really essentially a new position.
Now, a lot of folks, average fans, they get worried. Joe Schmidt was a walk-on, and now he is in position to start for this football team. Tell us how Joe has earned it and why this coaching staff is so high on him.
Well, Joe Schmidt, first of all, he was a walk-on from one of the great high school programs in all of America, Mater Dei out of Los Angeles, and was a good player. I was at Iowa State when he was a senior in high school. We recruited him. So he had scholarship offers. He's not just a guy that was in the student body and came out. He's a good football player. Then he earned a scholarship on special teams in his first couple of years. Last year he played quite a bit for us in special situations, as well as having a heavy role on special teams. So Joe has played a lot of football for us very, very successfully. What makes Joe special is he's the smartest player on the field, and that includes all positions in my opinion. He's handling the defense. He's getting our defense lined up. He's making all the calls. Coach Van Gorder's scheme is very detailed and very multiple, and Joe's been able to handle it. Joe's also intelligent when it comes to angles and how you play the game. He's learned that over the course of time. So maybe he's not the best athlete, but he's one of the best football players. There's a big difference. People forget that all the time. Being a football player and being an athlete aren't always the same thing.
And another guy who seems like he'll see the field a lot for you is a guy who's making a bit of a transition in James Onwalu. Talk about the transition that he's making and how well he's making it.
We recruited James as a wide receiver, and he played wide receiver last year and played well for our offense. He was a stalwart on our special teams, and James, I remember when James was a senior in high school, I went up to see him play. He not only played wide receiver, but he also played a version of strong safety where he was always down in the box or on the edge, which rivals an outside linebacker position. When I came back from that game, I was convinced that we could use him on defense at some point. So this spring, with our change in scheme and what we were doing with the outside backers, he first tried safety. We needed him an outside backer, and he made that switch in the spring, and he's just come on like gangbusters. He's another one of those intelligent guys that knows where to be all the time, can process information quickly, and understands technique. And he's grasped Coach Van Gorder's system very, very well. John Turner's done a good job too now. John was a safety for us in his first 2 years, played on special teams, but John is very competitive at that position. Between the two of them, we're going to end up in a good situation at Sam. And then Ben Council, coming off an injury, will give us a role player against the big run hammer teams. At least we've got a big, strong Sam that can line up over a tight end when we need it.
There are freshmen who are going to play on this team, and I think they bring an energy, but Morgan and Martini, how are they doing?
Well, Niles Morgan, I think our fan base is pretty familiar with him. He was a highly recruited guy. And Greer Martini, who was maybe a little bit under the radar, have been not surprises, but pleasant. They're very unexpected, I guess. Niles Morgan is a great physical specimen. He can run, and he's solid, and he can tackle. All those things are good. Niles is playing the Mike backer, which is the most complicated and the most communication-oriented of all the backer positions. So this is going to be difficult for him, and he's working through the issues right now. It's completely different from him, so different from playing high school football or many other college schemes from what he's used to. And he's trying to master the detail. That part of it's hard. The physical part, when he just gets out and runs, plays down, he's got that. He's got that. He's very good. We expect him to be a good player. What I like about Niles right now is that he understands that he's way off and he's got a long way to go. And he came in having been the top dog on his team for years, and I think he understands now that he's got a long way to go to get to the position that he needs to get in. Martini, on the other hand, is a guy who we probably didn't expect to be this advanced. But in the summer, he showed some athletic ability that we weren't sure he had. He's a long, smooth athlete, much better athlete than we expected, and he has really picked up the system quickly with very few reps. He didn't get any reps at Culver, and we have moved him in little bit by the way his demeanor was in meetings. He appeared to be picking the system up quickly, so we fed him a few reps. He looked good. We fed him a few more, and now he's on the second team. And he's a quick learner, a good athlete, very instinctive player. So we're excited about him. And we're going to now put him into position maybe where he can play on special teams and Niles as well and have an impact on this team. I told Coach Van Gorder one time early on in the spring that this, for him, is like having a team full of rookies in the NFL. There's no 2-year veterans. There's no 3-year veterans in this scheme to be able to digest this stuff quickly, have a little bit of experience doing it. There is none of that, so we're starting from scratch. The learners, the really fast learners, are in front right now. And we've got to bring some of the other guys that are going to be good players in time, we got to bring them along. Everybody has to come. We can't do this with just 2 or 3 guys in the linebacker core.